Cleo has quickly become one of my favorite survivors thus far. If you haven't been caught up on the previous episodes to her story, there'll be a card at the top of the screen to check those out beforehand. Or if you want, just start off with this video. So far, Cleo survived for 12 days, and she's taken care of over 350 zombies. Her skills aren't looking too shabby either, but today is the day that we're finally going to level up electrical. When I got downstairs to start my day, I began by reading First Aid Volume 1 in hopes that the fog would clear away. Then we could go out when it's a little safer. But the fog was persistent and didn't want to go away. So after I ate up some breakfast and smoked up a cigarette, I headed out into the fog. Checking on my map before heading over, I knew there wasn't any cars in this cul-de-sac here, so there's not really any point in looting that right now. So let's go to this street instead. Maybe there'll be a car over there. Since our main mission is still to get more fuel, and hopefully a generator prior to the power shutting off and all of our food spoiling, there wasn't any time to waste. The first group I came up on had a zombie with a crowbar attached to him. I'll take that. But I'm going to continue using this metal pipe until it breaks. This should be the first house on the list. You scared me. When I got into the house to start looting, I swapped out my hammer with a more durable one and dismantled a flashlight. I haven't been taking too many items from the fridge so far, but when I saw 2 hams sitting in the freezer, I couldn't pass them up. But I took a few seconds to fill up my water bottles before heading back outside, where I spotted a zombie through the mist. Ooh, another garden. I think we're good on food for right now though. The shed in the backyard didn't have a generator, but it did have another plank for us to board up the windows back at home. Before I made it into the house, I checked around for any roamers, but noticed a crash on the street, which immediately caught my attention. When I finally made my way up to the crash, I first inspected the car, which had the key in the glove box, but an empty gas tank. In the ambulance, I first found a walkie-talkie, which, when I dismantled it, leveled up my electrical skill. Finally! There was also an annotated map inside, which showed me the location of a crazy gun guy and his house, which I went ahead and marked on my map, so if we ever find ourselves in the Louisville area, we'll know where some guns are. In the trunk, I found a bunch more medical items, but more importantly, when I checked up on the mechanics, I was gifted with 21% of a gas tank, just what I needed. I tested my luck one more time before leaving by checking out a nearby shed, but when the front door was locked and there were no windows on the outside, I was forced to return home before it got too dark. And when I got back, I added fuel to the car and a plank to the window, before heading inside, where I filled up my empty bottles and fed Cleo dinner, before heading off to sleep. On day 14, I immediately got things started by heading back to where we were yesterday. Let's go ahead and get this turned around, just in case we need to leave in a hurry. When I arrived to the first house, I made my way through the window, where I was able to come away with a few things. Well, not really, just food. This place sucked. On to the next. Well, there's already more food in this one. And some antidepressants. At least it had more than the last. Ooh, a 2-story house. It's been a few episodes since I've been able to loot one. The garage only had crafting materials inside, but the house on the other hand had thread, which we still need a needle before we can start tailoring Cleo's clothing. The kitchen had tons of food, from ramen noodles to ham in the freezer. Although our fridge back home was filled to the brim, I was planning to bring another one over from the neighbors to have some extra space back at home. Before I headed upstairs, I snacked on a little bit of ice cream, and once I was up there, I could hear one of the dead banging on the bedroom door. When it was finally safe to loot, I didn't actually find much upstairs, besides a bunch of alarm clocks. People in this house were never late to anything. Dang, it's not even noon yet. It's crazy the difference a car can give you. Plus, the added benefit of not needing to return home when we're encumbered. So now that I'm no longer, let's go loot the next house. In the shed, I collected another gas can, and then ate some more ice cream as I made my way into the house. Almost got caught off guard when entering into the bedroom, but thankfully Cleo was able to swiftly get the door closed. Just like the last one, this house had a ton of food, but more specifically, refrigerated food. Perfect to start getting our new one stocked when we get it in. I took the time while I was inside to go ahead and cook up one of the steaks. When I arrived at the next house on our adventure, there were 2 zombies inside. They must have been lured over by my car when I got here. Well, we may as well enter through here. Oh, some nudie magazines. I'll definitely be taking those. Truckers are always in need of some extra entertainment, if you know what I mean. There were 2 flashlights inside the closet I used to gain a little extra XP, and then after the kitchen was looted, there wasn't really much else in here, so I went back outside. It seems like there's a garage just over the other side of this wall, so I'm gonna take a peek and see if there's any dead over there. Yep, there's definitely dead over there. Good thing this fence will stop them from getting to me. But I want to quickly loot this house before they get smart. Now we can cross off all 3. I went and deposited everything I could into the trunk, and then the rest into the back seat. After snacking up on a few things, I went to head back home for the night. But just as I was turning left, I spotted a hand axe lodged into one of the zombies, and I couldn't leave it behind. Ooh, and a ninja star. We gotta try this out, and let's do it right now. The last time I had one, I died before I could even try it out, so let's go ahead and use it now. Yep, there's the group that scared me. Alright, here we go. Dang, didn't even make it to her. Time for the trusty old crowbar. Alright, let's give it another go. Boom, there we go. Cleo was starting to panic a little bit. I guess it's because we're getting so close into town now, and any loud noise could lure a huge herd towards her. And as I was taking a beta blocker, I heard the shots of a survivor nearby. It was only one though, likely a mercy kill. But as I was eating up some ham before heading back home, A few of the zombies were lured towards me because of the gunshot. Afterwards, I took a few vitamins and then went to take a look at the garage. It was unfortunately sealed off from the outside, so until we get a welding torch and a mask, we're not going to be able to get into this one either. That group's way too big for me to take on right now. Let's get back home. It's starting to get late anyway. When I got back, I made sure none of the dead followed me home, and then dismantled the electrical items I had, before whipping up a steak and stir fry for dinner. This is one I might actually eat in real life. Most of my Project Zomboid meals I'd never try in real life. After eating, I walked over to the neighbor's house to take their fridge, since we needed more than them anyway. There we go. After it was placed down, and I stored away all the perishable food I had collected, I headed off to sleep. If you're enjoying the video so far, consider leaving a like and subscribing. It's quick to do and really helps out my channel. We're getting so close to 1K subscribers and it's crazy to even think about. I can't thank you all enough. When I woke up in the morning, I figured it was time to put my pistol on the kitchen table. Although Cleo is trained in firearms, we don't have a holster quite yet, so it's just adding extra weight to us. Now a little lighter, I wanted to head back to the cul-de-sac, killing any zombies along my way. Shit. This car's already banged up anyway. Oops, almost went the wrong way. Let's just cut through these trees here. When I got into the neighborhood, I hopped into the first house, which had a lot of canned goods, a magazine for modern performance cars, but not much else. Nice! We haven't found a hunting knife yet. I'll add that to my belt instead of this one. Prior to entering into the next house, I took a quick second to eat more stir fry and to smoke a cigarette. There were a bunch of books in the living room, but we have a lot back at home we need to read first. I did find a hunter magazine, teaching me to make snare traps. After grabbing the food from the kitchen, it was back outside for Cleo. Let's leave this baton behind. I'm getting pretty good at using the fence as cover, but as I was about to enter into the next house, an alarm was sounded. Shit! I gotta get out of here as quickly as possible. If we take anything from the herd we saw earlier, there's gonna be a lot lured over this way. Almost hit my motorcycle as I was parking the car, but we're good. Took a quick second before entering the house to update my map, making sure the future samurai remembers that an alarm went off here. Maybe in the next video, we'll give it some time to simmer over, and instead, loot the trailer park to the south of us. Y'all tell me what you think down below. Do you want me to head back on to take on the zombies that were just looted over? Or should we play it smart and head south for the winter? Episode. I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. Anyway, if you all enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you're new here. If you want to talk outside the video, the link to all my socials will be down below. And anyway, I'll see you all in the next video.